National parks. They are a treasure house of nature's superlatives. 84 million acres of some of the most stunning landscapes anyone has ever seen, including a mountain so massive it creates its own weather, whose peak rises more than 200 feet above sea level, the highest point in the continent. A valley where a river disappears into the burning stands of 282 feet below sea level, the lowest, driest, and hottest location in the country. A labyrinth of caves longer than any other measured, and the deepest lake in the nation with the clearest water in the world. This was written by Dayton Duncan and Ken Burns, who wrote The National Parks, America's Best Idea, an Illustrated History. Many say that national parks entice wonder of the natural world and inspires visitors to protect and preserve their local and global community. I know I found this to be true as I traveled with my family over the majority of the national parks in the country. Written by Duncan in 2016, he states, "The national parks is a glorious celebration of a central expression of American democracy." But why do these great parks and preserves deserve such declaration of honor? It all started on March 1st in 1872 with Yellowstone National Park. Today, more than 100 nations contains 1,200 national parks or equivalent preserves, as stated by the U.S. National Park Service. Presidents were very instrumental in this, including Lincoln, Ulysses S. Grant, and Theodore Roosevelt. During Teddy Roosevelt's administration, they created 5 new parks, 18 national monuments, 4 national game refuges, 51 bird sanctuaries, and over 100 million acres of national forest. That was written by the National Geographic in 2010. This organic act states that the service thus established shall promote and regulate the use of federal areas known as national parks, monuments, and reserves, by such means and measures as conform to the fundamental purpose of said parks, monuments, and preserves, which purpose is to conserve the scenery and the national historic objects, and the wildlife therein, to provide enjoyment of the same in such manner by such means as will leave them unimpaired for the enjoyment of future generations. This was written by the National Park Service. But the national parks not only advance future generations, but also they conserve and carry benefits through natural, economic, and health and well-being gains. While traveling with my family through the natural park, I couldn't help but imagine taking my children to these awe-inspiring monuments, and cannot show them the wonders of the world, and couldn't imagine even part of that being destroyed by something preventable and man-made. By natural, it is said by the NPA in 2017 that together the protected areas, they provide a backbone of a core conservation in areas to be linked by conservation efforts across different tenures, supporting a diverse, healthy, and resilient environment. Through economic gains, the NPA states that they give the example of the Great Barrier Reef alone attracting $66 billion a year in tourist spending and supports over 63,000 jobs. For health and well-being, also stated by the NPA in 2017, it states that when people visit the national parks, they can take time out, enjoy nature, and get fit, relax, and revitalize. It says that there are positive psychological effects serving to reduce stress, anger, frustration, and aggression, providing an opportunity for social bonding and serving as a place for learning and mental stimulation. Written by Duncan in 2016, he states, "But they are more than a collection of rocks and trees and inspirational scenes from nature. They embody something less tangible, yet equally enduring an idea. Born in the United States, nearly a century after its creation, as uniquely American as the Declaration of Independence, and just as radical." The national parks, the writer, historian Wallace Steiner once said, "The best idea we've ever had." But why would this way of thinking be valuable today? In an interview with Terry Tempest Williams, a renowned author, nationalist, and environmental activist, Duncan writes, "Not only do we save these lands, they save us. There's something about this wild continuity that gives us courage and allows us to be the best of who we are as human beings. I think national parks remind us that the beauty is not optional, but at the very core of our being. So how can we apply these values today? There are so many different ways to benefit the environment in everyday life, such as reducing water and energy use, lower food waste, and cut down on your carbon footprint. I know at our church, we have a group of team church members that go out in the community and do things such as working in our local community garden or even hiking along the Ohio River picking up trash. David Barna, the National Park Service Chief of Public Affairs, states, "Never in its 200 years has this nation needed national park system more. It stands as a collective memory of where we have been, what sacrifices we have made to get here, and who we mean to be. By investing in the preservation, interpretation, and restoration of these symbolic places, we offer hope and optimism to each generation of Americans." Thank you.